What's going on? 22 here now. Like most everybody else on social media, my channel has been pretty much a highlight reel of my comic book collecting and pop culture collecting. However, today is a totally different story. I am bringing to you the best, worst pickups ever as far as speculation goes, for me anyways. So these are like the cream of the crop. I had FOMO and picked up some books that just fell so flat, so hard, and so fast. So let's go ahead and kick off this top 5 list, starting off with number 5, and we're even going to cheat at the very beginning of this because it's not just Infinity Crisis number 3, the first appearance of Jaime Reyes, but it is also Infinite Crisis number 5, which is the first appearance of him as the Blue Beetle. As the Blue Beetle movie came closer and closer to coming out, I started trying to prepare more to have this book on the ready, just in case it popped off and became a really big book. Back in August of 21, I picked up a issue number 5 second printing for $25.46. Now, all the amounts that I'm going to give you are in the near mint range from cover price. So yeah, picked it up for $25.46, and now it sells for near mints at $15. I'm pretty positive what I had was not a near mint. In fact, most of these that I'm going to list off were not near mint copies that I bought. So just to imagine how even worse it probably is if I went back and actually found the grade and all that jazz. But it doesn't stop there, because I was so like, this is going to be something. In December of 21, I bought a lot of Infinite Crisis 3 and 5, consisting of 2 issues of the first printing of number 5, 1 issue of the second print of number 5, 1 of number 3 first printing, 2 of number 3 the second print. Now, I bought this lot for $52. And if you tally it all up, if they were all near mints, the lot would have been worth about $76. So it actually would have came out good. However, they're not all near mint. They're nowhere even close to being near mint. So I've totally lost on that. Or, you know, at best, broke even on that one. Here's probably the only one that I did good at, and that is in November of 22. I bought this issue number 3 for $4.01. And the fair market value on it was like $10. So I don't even know if this one is a near mint book or not, but yeah, that's the only one that I've even come close to doing well in this entire grasp for the Blue Beetle. It just came out that nobody cared about the Blue Beetle. This was towards the end of the Snyderverse and going into the new James Gunn, Peter Safran DCU. Horrible time to buy. Horrible time to buy. And there was no clear answer as to whether or not this movie even mattered. So that was a whole other thing as well. Now, there are rumors that the actor that plays Jaime Reyes is going to be carried on into the DCU, and maybe the Blue Beetle movie will actually be something, because it looks like, you know, the Peacemaker season 1 is like sticking around for the DCU as well, per Creature Commandos. Only time will tell on that. I don't know that I see these books going up in value either though. Coming in at number 4, back in February of 2021, I picked up this copy of Mighty Avengers number 1. Now, this was off of Monica Rambeau being added to the MCU, and all the speculation of, was she going to be Photon? Was she going to be Spectrum? Was she going to... There was another name she had as well, and I can't even remember what it was. But those were like the big running ones, was Photon and Spectrum. And I saw the episode, and I saw that she saw the light Spectrum in that episode. And I was like, oh, that's what she is. She's going to be Spectrum. So I went out and I bought a copy for $17.95. Okay? Today, that book in near mint condition, which I don't know that mine is valued at $5. Horrible, especially when the Marvels came out and Kamala Khan starts trying to give Monica Rambeau her superhero name, and they throw out the name of Spectrum, and she's like, oh no. It's like, oh no, it's totally been axed. It's not happening. So yeah, oh well. I just toss it up to whatever it is. And it's a cool cover, but like that's just all that it really is. And it's an issue 1. So it is a key for that character, but I don't know that anybody cares about that character. So you just got to live and learn is what it boils down to. That's going to be the theme of this video right here, is live and learn. Coming in at number 3 is a book that I feel like this book is highly undervalued. I really do. I don't know if it's because of its age. I don't know if it's because of its print count. I don't know what it is. I feel like this book is undervalued for fans of this character. And we're going to be seeing more of this character coming this February, which kind of has me baffled why the market does this to this book. The book I'm referring to, though, is Captain America number 25. This I bought in July of 2022, this one particular issue, and I paid $31 for this book. The current fair market value for this book, raw, in a near mint condition, is $9. Now, I did send this book in. I cleaned it, I pressed it, I sent it in to CGC. It came back a 9.8. I have sold that 9.8 copy since then. I think I sold it for $90. And the fair market value for a near mint CGC is $89 right now. So I did make a little money, and as far as fair market goes, I sold it for fair market value apparently back then. And it wasn't long ago that I actually sold that book either. But yeah, buying the book, having it shipped to me, the grading costs, having it shipped, like I think I made a little bit of money on that book, not much at all. We're talking like $10-15, something to that effect. But I still made an actual little bit of money on it. But had I kept it raw, I would have lost so much money on that book. Now, this is not me saying you should go out and get these books sit there and graded, blah, 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 blah. No. I'm not saying that at all. I lucked out on this one. I totally lucked out on this book. And I have to recognize that I totally lucked out on this book and use precaution when going and doing other gradings like that in the future. The significance of this Captain America 25 is that it's the first appearance of Sam Wilson as Captain America, and we're going to be seeing that movie come out. We've already seen a TV show, which I don't think the TV show did that well, honestly. I was not a fan of the TV show, but the movie, like the trailer, of course, all the Marvel trailers have been fire. Like, let's be real. All the Marvel trailers have been awesome, but it's the movies that have been lacking. So I'm definitely cautiously whelmed when it comes to like going and seeing this movie. But like if this movie hits, like I wonder if that book will jump up. I guess we'll see if it even actually hits, though. Let's be honest. This one would be my worst, my absolutely positively worst pickup. Had it not been for one thing when we do get to number 1, okay? So I bought this book back in June of 2021. It is Dark Reign, Young Avengers number 1. This features the first appearance of Sylvie Lushton. Sylvie Lushton was a girl that got the powers of Loki bestowed upon her, and she became the Enchantress. I bought into this book when the Loki series was going out. A lot of people were looking for the female Loki and all this other jazz. I steered more towards this one, especially when they started throwing around the word enchant in like one of the close to the end of the series shows. So I picked this book up for $54.95. This book now in near mint condition has a fair market value of $15. Worst, for just about so close to the word. This ought to give you a hint as to like how bad I really did on the worst one, like the absolutely worst one. But yeah, of course she's named Sylvie, but there's no Lushton that's ever been attached. She's never called herself an enchantress. She's actually going to be getting an appearance of that character in the TVA book, it looks like. I think there's a cover appearance of her, so all they have to do is confirm it in that book, and then I feel like that book will be the one. But do people even care about Sylvie right now? Is that even a thing? Like, I don't think people care about Sylvie anymore. I don't. Especially since season 2. It's been all about Loki, and it should have been. Like, let's be honest, it should have been. But, like, I don't think anybody cares about Sylvie, like, at all. And so, it was just the FOMO, and like that's what my channel has been all about, is fighting FOMO, and here I am succumbing to it in 2021. Man, that was a crazy year because we were getting all these Marvel TV shows, and the hype was so real then. It was so real, and I just got swept up in it. And yeah, it just, man, I spent some stupid money on some stupid books. This one is by far the absolute positively worst, and I'll explain why, because it's really not that bad of a book. But back in April of 2021, I bought not one, but 2 copies of X-Men number 4, the first appearance of Omega Red, because the rumor mill was all, hey, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to bring Omega Red in, and he's going to be a villain in the MCU. It's going to be the first mutant villain, blah, 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 blah. Just like all the Mephisto stuff with WandaVision. No, it did not happen. It didn't even come close to happening. That wasn't a thing. Batroc the Leaper was the villain. One of them, anyways. And yeah, that was the big, I guess, reveal at that time. So, huge joke. No Omega Red at all. I still like that I have the books, don't get me wrong. It still would be I'm still going to look for better copies, honestly, because I think now is the time to actually buy that book. Because the fair market near mint value of that book is $14, which is substantially cheaper than what it was here not long ago, which is around the $20 mark. And then when I bought it, which was the first copy at $40, but the second copy I spent $54.99 on. That's all you can do. That's all you can do is laugh whenever something like that comes up. That's all you can do is just get some kind of enjoyment out of it. So yeah, the first appearance of Omega Red, X-Men number 4, like, like I said, I like it that I have the first appearance of Omega Red in my collection, and I did buy the 2 copies because I wanted to have one to possibly flip, but also have one for my little X-Men Jim Lee run that I had going on at the time. So that there was reasoning behind having 2, but I should not have. I should not have done it. I should not have done it at all. Like once it got to that $25 mark, I definitely should have just folded. Of course, hindsight's 2020. That's in all things, but that's what you do in these situations. When you do succumb to FOMO, you learn from them. You have to. That's the only way you're gonna get better and do better. So, no flawless victory here. That's not how this works. And those are the best, worst spec buys I've ever bought and ever had. I feel like I've done a lot better since 2021. Those years, most of my spec buys now are in the dollar bins. I'll go as far as like $5, depending on how much faith I really have in a character, or how cool I think a book is. Whether it be the cover, the story, the character, all that jazz. But that's all I'm really willing to invest in something. Outside of that, it would have to fit like a PC. Like it would have to be something like, if I got stuck with it, you know what? I still think that's a really cool book, and that's what I want. I'm good with keeping it. Let me know down in the comments below, what are your worst spec buys, or just worst buys in general, where you bought something, you're like, I way overpaid on that. I know I'm not alone, so y'all let me know in the comments below what your worst ones are. YouTube thinks you'll enjoy some more nerdiness right here, so go check that out. Have yourself a little watch and enjoy that. Find me on Instagram, eBay, Shortbox, 22_comics, and the Comically Comics podcast on all podcatchers. Thank y'all again so much for watching, and as always, y'all have a good one.